He grew up surrounded by blessing a strong home, fertile land, and a father whose love was quiet but unbreakable. As a child, the boy once fell asleep in his father's arms while counting stars on a rooftop, learning that no matter how far life took him, home would always be waiting. Years passed, and the warmth of that moment faded. The house grew quieter after his mother's death, and while the older brother rooted himself in the soil and routine of the family estate, the younger son's heart wandered. He stared beyond the hills, drawn to roads that promised excitement, freedom, and a life larger than the one he knew. One morning, he made a request that shattered his father's heart. He asked for his inheritance early. In their world, such a request meant wishing his father gone. Yet the father did not argue or strike him down. With trembling hands, he divided his life's work into silver and gold and gave it away. Before the boy left, the father prayed over him, blessing him with words meant for protection and return. The son left without looking back. At first, the world welcomed him. Cities dazzled him with noise, color, and indulgence. He spent freely, surrounded by laughter and shallow friendships. Praise filled his ears, but peace never filled his heart. When letters arrived from home, he destroyed them unopened, unwilling to face what he had abandoned. Then the money vanished, so did the friends. A famine swept through the land, and the son found himself desperate, alone, and starving. The same city that once celebrated him now ignored him. Eventually, hunger forced him into work feeding pigs, an unthinkable humiliation for someone raised as he was. Covered in filth, sleeping in mud, he reached a point where even animal feed looked tempting. One night, under the same stars he once counted as a child, memory broke through his despair. He remembered his father's voice. He remembered home. And for the first time, he stopped blaming the world and saw himself clearly. With nothing left but regret and a fragile hope, he turned around. The journey home was brutal. Barefoot, weak, and ashamed, he walked mile after mile, rehearsing words he hoped might earn him mercy not as a son, but as a servant. Along the way, he gave away his last piece of bread to a stranger, a small act of humility that marked how much he had changed. What he didn't know was that his father had never stopped watching. Every morning since the day his son left, the old man walked to the gate and stared down the road. He prayed, he hoped, and one day he saw a broken figure limping toward home. Before anyone could stop him, the father ran. Ignoring dignity, reputation, and age, he sprinted down the road and embraced his son before a single apology could be spoken. The rehearsed confession fell apart as the father called for robes, a ring, and a feast. His joy drowned out the boy's shame. "My son was lost," he declared, "and now he is found." While the household celebrated, the older brother stood outside, angry and wounded. He had obeyed, stayed, worked, but his heart had hardened. When the father came to him, too, he spoke with the same patience and love, inviting him into the joy he had refused to feel. The story ends without telling us whether the older brother stepped inside, because the question is meant for us. This is not a story about rebellion alone, nor obedience alone. It is a story about a father whose love waits, watches, and runs. A love that doesn't demand perfection before acceptance. A love that meets broken people on the road home. No matter which sun you see yourself in, the message is the same. The door is still open. The road still leads home, and love is already running toward you.